Hi, everybody. I said yesterday in class that I would try to post a screencast of myself working in Statcrunch. So that's what this is. Um, if you have access Statcrunch through Canvas or through the MyLab or whatever, you can actually just go to straight to the Statcrunch website right here, and then just open Statcrunch. Now I'm just going to open it up. If I click on Open Statcrunch right there, you get a brand new field of data. You can type in the numbers you want, or you can go find the data that maybe you've previously saved. Now I'm just going to open up some data that I was working with prior. So if I go load, and from my data, hours working, I'm going to load that. Now this is the data set we were looking at yesterday. This data set represented the number of hours that students worked in a class. I think there were 35 students. To check that, I can scroll down and see, yep, there were 35 students already enrolled in the class. Now, if I wanted to do some things like I did yesterday, for example, I made a histogram. To make a histogram, that would be found under Graph. If you click on Graph, then you'll see histogram is the fourth option. And you have to select what variable you're dealing with. If there's multiple variables, you'd pick, well, there's only one here. So click that. And you can decide if you want to do frequency histograms or relative frequency histograms. I'm just going to leave it as frequency for the moment. You can say what the bins are. This is where your class width comes in. Say you wanted to start your bin at 0, and the class width might be every 5 hours, for example. And then you can do some other things here, which we don't need to worry about. But if you thought that it was going to be bell-shaped, for example, you could try putting a graph over it. But let's just click compute, and that is the graph that we see. And this is more or less what we saw yesterday, I believe. Okay, so we talked yesterday about the ways we describe data. One way is to use this picture. We'd say this is kind of bell-shaped. The middle of the data, the center of the data, looks like it's around 20. And we decided the standard deviation was around 10 or so because the average from the middle was be about right here. And from the middle, from 20 over to about here in the middle of this range, it would be about 10 units higher on the x-axis. And over here would be about 10 units lower. Then we actually computed those things. So how do you compute all the descriptive statistics? If you go over to Stat and Summary Statistics and Columns, and again we select the variable, and if we just click Compute, we get all the information that we need. This tells us that for this variable there were 35 observations. That matches what we saw before. The mean was 19.08, which if you look, 19.08 or 19.1 is right about here. That's right in the middle of the data set. The standard deviation is 11.44, which means that on average the data are about 11 units to either side of the middle. And that is what we've seen so far. We have not talked about Q1 and Q3, but we will soon. The median we did discuss. The median is 18. So that's in ranked order, that's the middle observation was an 18. All right, I'm going to stop there, and hopefully that will help you get started with finding summary statistics and at least making histograms. All right, thank you very much.